Hi, I don't want to make this video. I don't want to make any video, actually, ever. But I am. And the reason I'm learning how to make videos, even though I don't want to, is because that's what nonviolence is asking me to do. And I have to say, one of the greatest parts of my life doing this work is that I get to learn how to do all these things I never wanted to do because that's what love needs. And so today, I'm going to learn how to make a video and you're going to learn how to fundraise. This is going to be a lot of fun. Sure. Okay, let's do this. Hello. Thank you for at least considering being part of our effort to expand MPT's Sustainer Circle. My name is Stone, if we haven't met before. I'm an MPT nonviolence trainer, and I'm also part of the development team. And so hopefully I'm here to be helpful and teach you how to help us raise the money we need. What we're going to do in this video is just a couple of things. I'm going to tell you why we're doing it this way, like what our purpose is, what our thought is about that. I'm going to talk probably a good bit about our attitude and our mindset when it comes to fundraising. I want you to try on these ideas as a way to think about what we're doing when we're fundraising, when we're trying to get money, right? Because I'm not super into those concepts the way we usually talk about them. And I think there's a way that we can use our nonviolent principles and our skills to generate money for the work that needs doing in a nonviolent, loving, community building way. So I'm going to talk about that just a little bit. And then I'll just run through a quick outline of how your fundraising calls might go if you choose to be one of the people that calls people and invites them to join our Sustainer Circle. We've written out just like a little outline to make sure you cover the things you need to cover, so you sort of know what goes where, so you can feel like you're prepared for the call and you can be comfortable. So we'll run through that and then you'll be ready to go. But don't worry, Melody and I will make sure that you have all the backup and support and help you need. So this video, just one piece, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so why are we doing this? There's two answers, right? There's the big picture why, and then there's the very specific why are we doing this actual thing. Big picture. We're doing this because the world needs peace teams. Because the world needs more conflict de-escalation skills. Because the world needs people who feel empowered to make a difference in reducing or eliminating the violence in their communities and in other people's communities. Because peace teams provide people a way to organize themselves and affect change in ways that teach them how to do that in all kinds of aspects of their lives. And we need it because there's too much violence and there's too many people suffering. And so for me, I feel like if I have a skill or a tool or a resource that could make it better, I need to act on that. I need to do that, right? So that's why I'm doing this, is because MPT has resources and skills and experience that the world needs. And so I want MPT to keep going, to get bigger, to help more people, to empower more people so they can help themselves. So that's the big why for me. Maybe take a minute, pause the video, think about what your big why is, because that's going to be important. It's cool. We'll wait. You can hit pause, take as long as you like. All right. I'm going to assume you came back. So what's the little why? Why are we doing this? What we're doing specifically is we have looked at all the people that give MetaPeace team money over the course of a year. Somebody might give just one gift, maybe in the fall around Christmas. That's the most popular time to give money. Every year we send out a Mother's Day letter. In the spring, people give money there. Maybe somebody went to a training and thought it was great and they just sent us a check afterwards, right? Maybe they came to an event and they made a donation there. All these little donations through the years. So we looked at our people and we said, who gave us more than $40 last year? Maybe they gave 20 at Christmas, they gave 20 at Mother's Day. You know, just overall in a year, they gave $40 or more. And what we're going to do is we're going to call those people up and we're going to ask them to give us that amount of money or just a little more, maybe $60 a year, but to do it a little at a time, to give us a monthly donation. Because the big campaigns are great and they bring in a tidal wave of money and then that money goes out, right? And so we end up with periods of the year where we have very little money coming in, but we still have all the expenses. And we try to budget, we try to plan, but you never know really what you can expect. Right? As we sent out our Mother's Day appeal right now, there's a flotilla headed to Gaza. Lots of people have shifted their giving to that anti-war effort, to the effort to protect the Palestinian people. And fair enough, right? But it means that our appeal might not do as well, because if I had $20 to give and I gave 10 of it to this group or that group, and then now you're here, I only have 10 left to give you, right? And so by asking people to join the Sustainer Circle, what we're asking them to do is commit to give a small amount, sometimes a bigger amount, every single month, so that we know that we have regular, steady support. And that's going to let us plan. That's going to let our staff sleep at night. That's going to allow us a feeling of independence, that we can make our own decisions, that we're not always chasing the need for money, right? We can be secure that we have what we need to do the work that's needed, that we want to do, right? And so what's happened here? Melody and I pulled this list of all these people. And then Melody sent them our fundraising appeal, the Mother's Day appeal, and she included a note that said, hey friend, we used their name, hey friend, last year you gave us this much. This year we want to ask you to give us $5, $10, $20 a month, which will be very close to what you gave us last year. But that steady support will make a difference in our ability to plan and our ability to be prepared. What do you say? And so people got that letter in the mail. And some of them, I am sure, immediately went online and signed up, or they filled out the envelope and have mailed it back. And we will call them and tell them thank you and be very grateful for them. But most people will probably be like me. They read it, they saw it, they thought, yeah, I should do that. And then they dropped it on the kitchen table, or they put it, where they would see it, and they haven't done it yet. So for those people, we're going to call them up and we're going to ask them, hey, we sent you this letter. Did you see it? What do you think? And so in a moment, I'm going to go through exactly how we're going to do that. So that becomes a really constructive community building process, as opposed to just, hey, can I have something? Like, we're going to use this opportunity to be friends with our community that keeps us going and supports this work. Before we do that, I want to take a couple minutes to talk about the mindset, the attitude, the way we're going to do what we do. And I want to suggest that there are two concepts to keep in mind here. One, it's not about you. It's not about you. Often, when we think about fundraising, when we think about asking someone for money, we're thinking about us. How will I feel when I do it? What will they think about me? What am I going to say? Am I giving enough? How will I, it's not about you. It's not about you at all, right? So take a moment, take a deep breath, let it out. When you go to someone and you ask them to contribute money to Meta Peace Team or to any cause, what you are doing is inviting them to join the work. You are inviting them to be part of the movement. You are inviting them to take an active role in building the world we want. There are many, many, many jobs, many, many, many tasks to be done before we have a world of peace and justice and nonviolence. And some of those tasks require cash. And so getting the cash to do those tasks is part of the work. And so when I go to someone and I say, we are doing this work together and we are looking for people who are able to fund some of this work so we can get it done, that's a role. That's an important role. And there are people who are not able to be on peace teams. Or maybe they actively don't want to. They just know themselves and they're like, that is not my role. That is not my place. That's 100% okay. Because maybe those people, maybe you, are somebody who can fold and sign letters or can make phone calls to ask people to give money or can make people feel welcome when they come to the event or the potluck or the training, right? These are also roles. And so I don't want to prioritize one kind of role over the other. All the work needs to be done. It's all good work. And so when I am asking people to contribute, I am saying, I have a role that needs filling. I need somebody to give us $10 a month so we know we have a steady cash flow. Can that person be you? I am inviting them to take an active part in what we're doing. And that is very exciting. But it's not about me. It's about the work that needs to be done, right? I'm not coming here, oh, please fill my bowl. It's not what I'm doing. I'm saying I am building a better world, and I know you want a better world. So let's go. Can you do this thing? And you know what? If the answer is no, it's totally fine. There's so much work to be done. We don't need to worry about, no, I can't do this particular thing at this particular time. We can say thank you. Thank you for thinking about it. Thank you for being part of this movement in the ways that you can, right? So it's not about us, and we don't need to get attached to what it means if they say yes or no, because it's not about us either, right? Their yes or no is about what they're able to do, And our asking is about us being willing to share the work, being willing to share this mission we're on, right? Because that's the second part. We all are autonomous beings, right? When I say that, you're like, oh, yes, I've been to those demonstrations. We are all autonomous beings. We all have the right to make our own choices. We all have the right to be able to have some measure of control over the quality of our lives, right? And what I find is that when it comes to fundraising, we immediately want to take that power away from people. Oh, well, I can't ask them because what about blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, I don't want to bother them because I know they give to this group and that group, right? What is that? Don't do that. What I want us to focus on is that we have an opportunity, and then I'm going to offer that opportunity, and then I'm going to give that person the dignity of their own response. So I don't have to tell him, oh, you don't need to, but I mean, if you could, but no, 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 no. This is what's going on. This is where we need help. Can you help in this way? Yes, they can. Great. Let's get you all set up so you're able to do that and be part of the work. No, they can't. Great. I'll be sure to let you know the next time an opportunity to get involved comes up. Is there anything that would be helpful for us to know? Are there opportunities you would like to be offered? Right? Come. These people have the dignity of making their own decisions. And the stories we make up about them are just that. They're just stories. So there might be somebody and we say, oh, I don't want to ask her because she's a single mom and, she's working and she's the kid. And I just, there are so many things going on in her life. I couldn't possibly ask her to give money. I'm sure her money's very tight. And the reality is, she's good with her money. She has a budget. She would love to get more involved with peace teams. She follows the listserv all the time. It would make her so pleased to know that her efforts contributed to the work we're doing. We should ask her. Maybe there's somebody, and he's a doctor, and he lives in a nice neighborhood, and he's, very smart and elegant when you speak with him. And you think, oh, he's rich. I can't ask this rich person for money. I'm not rich. But the reality is he's up to his elbows in student loan debt, and he's taking care of his parents, and that house is mortgaged to the hilt. And when you ask him, he says, I really don't want to do that at this time. That's okay too. Okay, great. We will keep looking for a way for you to be involved that feels good to you. We don't need to make up stories about people. People are going to share themselves with us as honestly and as fully as we share ourselves with them. So, first nonviolence principle, all you need to do is show up as your authentic, most loving self. Hooray! So next, we're going to talk about our nonviolent fundraising style and what that looks like. We're about to go to the outline of the call and talk through sort of what you're going to say when. But before we do that, I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about the nonviolence of fundraising. A lot of times, particularly in our culture, we have this sort of capitalist sell, sell, sell mentality when it comes to money. And we have all been the target of fundraising campaigns, the Democratic Party, for example, where they come to you, give now, limited time offer. You can buy these sneakers. They've all got this stuff. Go, 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 fast, fast, fast. We're not going to do that. The way I like to think about fundraising and the way many people think about development as a field, right, is that development is about relationship building. Conveniently, nonviolence is also about relationship building. So it makes sense that these things would go together. When we fundraise, we do so in a place of loving detachment. We do so with a desire to build community and relationship and to be able to share wholly with others and to receive from them. And so you're going to ask them to give money to support the work we're doing together. And they're going to say yes, or they're going to say no, or they're going to say I have to talk to my spouse or look at my bank account. I'll have to get back to you. And those are all great answers. And so we're just going to accept their answers and we're going to have gratitude for them and we're going to thank them because this is about building community and about having connection. And in all that loving space, at no time did I push them, did I guilt them, did I try to manipulate them. I just got on the call because I wanted them to know what was going on with an organization we both really like. And there was a way that they could be helpful and invite them into that work. And then we got to have some nice fellowship and the call ended. Success! That's it. And so this is like the anti-pressure way. And so now we're going to change views and I will meet you in the document. Okay, so here we are. This is part of the Notion document called Sustainer Circle Invitational that you have received a link to, or you can check with Melody to get access to. We're at the section of the document called Stages of the Call. And this is pretty straightforward. You've used the phone before, so we'll just quickly run through our outline. The first step to making this call is to prepare, to ground and center yourself in your favorite way so that you can feel as present as you can possibly be with the person on the phone. Make sure that you have a nice cup of tea or a glass of water if your throat might get dry. Look over your notes so that you feel confident about what you're about to do and what you need to share. So then you're going to call and you're going to ask for the person that is on the form that Melody has given you, because that's the person that has actually given to MPT team. Although, of course, a lot of times people have spouses or other folks, but we're going to try to reach the person who actually makes the money decision. Ask if they're home. If they're not, easy peasy. Just leave your name, tell them you're calling from MPT. If you feel comfortable, you can leave your own number and try to connect back with them again. Or you could tell them they could call Melody back and leave her number. If they are there, fantastic. Introduce yourself. Be sure to tell them you're calling from MPT team. This could be someone you know, very likely. So if that's true, take a few minutes just to reconnect. Hi, how are you? All that good social stuff. Remember, we're building relationships here. Then, in keeping with our nonviolent ethos, we're going to ask for consent and get agreement about what's about to happen. So that's easy. You just say, is now an okay time to talk for a few minutes? I want to share with you what's going on at MPT, and there's a way that we could use your support. Would that be all right? And if they say, this isn't a good time, that's great. Ask when you could call back, right? It's fine. You're just building a relationship. But if they're on board and you're on board, then it's time to go to sharing. And sharing is where we build community and we build relationship. Go ahead and tell them why you're excited or passionate about MPT. Here on this piece of paper, I wrote out some of my possible reasons, right? Why am I excited about Meta Peace Team? You're going to have reasons that speak to you. If you're in the Notion document, feel free to type them right in the document and inspire other people as they use this form. You might want to jot your reasons down on the printed sheet if you're working off a printed piece of paper. But have them in front of you so you don't feel like, oh, what was I going to say? You have notes. You can look and know exactly what you're going to say. I'm working to try to find some information about how many peace teams and trainings we've done. And as we learn that information, I'll update it on this form. If it's not there, don't worry about it. Then in that conversation, your job is to share the stuff that's passionate and exciting for you, and then listen and affirm what they're excited about or passionate about. They might have questions. If you know the answer to the question, answer it. If you don't know the answer, that's easy. You can say, I don't know the answer to that, but I will ask in the office and make sure someone calls you back with that answer or sends you an email, right? So in our response, we don't want to say, I have no idea and there's no way for us to address your concern. What we want to say is either I have the answer, I can respond directly, or your question or concern is important and someone will get back to you with that information. If there's stuff they want to share, I wish MPT would do a training for this group of people or that group of people. Or I wonder, is MPT doing anything to support the demonstrations that are happening right now? I would love to see us do that. You can say, I'm going to pass that on. Someone might call you to follow up, right? We want to know that they're part of the organization. They are part of Meta Peace Teams, and their input is important to us. Then after you've chatted about Meta Peace Team for a while, maybe 2 minutes, maybe a half hour, right? I don't know who you're calling or how much you like to chat or how much they like to chat. But at some point, you're going to get around to the invite. If you are already part of the Sustainer Circle, by all means, the best thing you could do is say, I am part of the Sustainer Circle, and every month my credit card automatically contributes to MPT. I don't have to do anything. If you're not part of the Sustainer Circle, that's totally okay. I am not part of the Sustainer Circle, but I would say I'm excited to be making these calls, and I'm trying to support MPT by volunteering as much as I can. One way we're looking for support right now is that you're already contributing, and you'll know this from the sheet that Melody has shared with you. But let's say, for our example, you're already contributing $50 a year, and that's so great. Thank you for that. I want to invite you to give MPT $5 each month instead. By giving us a small amount each month, you're creating steady, reliable income for MPT that's going to help us be confident as we make plans and try to respond to things that are happening last minute. Would you be willing to become a sustainer at $5 a month? And if they say yes, fantastic. And I'm going to show you how to take their contribution. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the fundraiser donor portal. And I can click on that link in the Notion document, or we have that link written out. And it looks like this. This is part of MPT's webpage. And you're going to scroll down. Very important here that you click reoccurring. They're going to make a reoccurring donation and enter the donation amount. And so you're going to enter an amount, $5, whatever. Let's say, for example, we're going to enter $5. And designation, we're going to say wherever my gift is most needed. Then it'll automatically fill with today's date because that's when we're going to start charging them. They're going to fill monthly. And then you're going to fill out first name, last name, address, all this stuff, right? Easy peasy. And you can say to them right in the call, what credit card are you going to put this on? And you'll fill that out. If there's anything else, they're like, oh, but tell Melody, blah, blah, blah. Write it there. Or you could write it in the notes. And then you're going to click process now. And that's it. That's easy peasy. And so now we're back on our worksheet. And you can see that we have pictures and a whole review of what I just showed you on the donor screen. And then after you've gotten their donation, you're going to thank them. We'll talk about that in a minute. What if they say they want to think about it? They want to talk to a spouse. They want to check their bank account. They're not sure. That's all great. Remember, this is no pressure. This is about building and keeping a good relationship. So make sure they have Melody's email or cell phone. If they have questions, you can let them know that they can do this right through the Donate Now button on the MetaPeace Team website, or they can use the mailing that they received to make that contribution. What if they say no? If they say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to give monthly. I just want to give when I give. Great. So you could say, fantastic. Would you be interested in giving a one-time contribution today? If they say yes, back to the form. You fill everything out for them. Boom, they've made their donation. If they say, no, I don't want to do that, you say, great. Well, I'm still glad we had a great time talking today. And thank you so much for being part of MetaPeace Team. I have a little question on the form. What are some ways you might be able to affirm this person as an MPT supporter? We want to make sure that they know that just because they said no, they're still a valuable part of our team. And so we want to take a moment to express gratitude for being part, for staying in touch with us, for participating in the ways that feel comfortable to them. And then you hang up, you end the call. After you've hung up, write down any notes that you want about the content of the call. If they gave a reason for saying no, make a note of that because that'll help us when we contact them in the future to know what's going on in their life. If they're a maybe, make a note of that and what they said so that Melody can follow up with them if they don't follow through and make their own donation. If they said yes and were like super enthusiastic, or they had suggestions, or they were asking questions about how they could volunteer, be sure to note that and put a big star on it to make sure that Melody sees it because we want to bring more and more people into our activities, right? And so that's it. 1, 2, 3. You've made the call. You've gotten everything done. Fantastic. All right. So there we are. What'd we do? We talked about the big why and the little why of why we're doing this. We talked about some attitudes and mindsets to keep in mind, a way to think about how you're doing the work you're doing, and especially how to incorporate a spirit of nonviolence and community building into this activity. We went through the outline of the call to let you know what kinds of things you need to mention or you might want to mention, and how to ask for money and make that whole process easy for everybody. And then you've written up your notes and gotten them back to Melody, and you can give yourself a pat on the back. Good job! I'm so grateful that you decided to step up and do this work and help the team out in this way. It's really great to have the support of so many people in making a future of peace teams and a future of nonviolence possible. Thank you. Okay, that's it for me. Bye. All right, I lived. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I think I'm really awkward. I'm gonna go learn how to edit a video now. Thanks for watching.